Welcome back to Stadium Review episode number 23, as today we're continuing on our USHL journey to visit Fox Valley Ice Arena, the home of the Chicago Steel. Over the course of the next several years, I'm on a quest to visit every single USHL ice hockey arena. The United States Hockey League is a top junior league in the United States with players aged 16 to 21, with 16 teams spread all across the Midwest. So if you enjoy hockey stadiums, then be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you can see all the other stadiums we go to. After first visiting the team closest to me, the Madison Capitals, I decided to now visit the second closest team, the Chicago Steel, that play in Geneva, Illinois, a suburb of Chicago. The team was originally founded back in 1996 as the Fargo-Moorhead Ice Sharks. However, the team was relocated to Bennisonville, Illinois in 2000, where they played at Edge Ice Arena until 2015, when they moved to Geneva, Illinois and Fox Valley Ice Arena. The arena lies just outside of Geneva and gets its name from the Fox River, which runs about a mile and a half west of where the arena lies. And the arena is also very close to Northwestern Medicine Field, which is where the independent league baseball team, the Kane County Cougars, play. The arena originally opened in 1996. They also have two rinks, one being an NHL standard size and the other one an international size, which means that it's 15 feet wider. When the Chicago Steel moved into the arena in 2015, they added several new features, including a new scoreboard. However, the rink only has a capacity of 2,800 fans, making it the second smallest stadium in the USHL, followed by the Madison Capitals. So the first two rinks that I visited have been the smallest rinks in the league. But since Chicago is already such a saturated sports market, it makes sense that they have much smaller capacity, compared to some other cities where the USHL team is one of the biggest teams in the city. Getting to the arena wasn't too bad since I traveled north down from Wisconsin, and I got to see a lot of Chicago's suburbia area. It was really nice that there was free parking all over the arena, plus the marquee sign really let me know that I was in the right place. Outside the arena, it's definitely done up like a typical hockey complex, with kind of a big barn exterior look to it. However, they do have this nice awning, so if it's snowing or icing and there's some older people getting out, they don't have to worry about slipping on ice. Once through the main doors, you enter in a giant hallway, which kind of serves as the concourse of the arena. And the stadium also has some other amenities, such as a sports performance and fitness center, as well as the Forest Preserve District of Kane County. And my favorite part of this area was all the flags hanging from all the different USHL teams, which I think is a fantastic touch and probably really cool for visitor players to come into the arena and be able to see their team's flag flying. Off to the south side of the concourse was the international rink, which they had puck and stick time on during the game. And as you can see, there's not a whole lot of seats here, just a few bleachers on the side for parents to watch. On the far end of the concourse, they also have these really nice pictures covering doors that's probably the training facilities and locker rooms for the Steel players. There were also several concession stands and bathrooms out in this long lobby area. At the northeast side of the concourse, they had a really nice restaurant, Rookie's All-American Pub and Grill, which had really nice big windows that let you look out to the parking lot and also into the NHL size rink, where the Chicago Steel play. Which brings us to that north side arena, which is the NHL size rink. The main entrance into the arena is really odd because from the concourse to the arena, you kind of have to go down to go up to the seating itself, and there's a large open area right behind the penalty boxes. The main rink's set up in a very unbalanced way, as the near side closest to the concourse has a lot of seating and the far side barely has any at all. Starting up high, there's a lot of suites that just line the upper wall of the stadium. Right below that is a big section of bleachers followed by a walkway. And then there's a few rows of really steep seats right by the ice that run the entire length of the ice sheet. The far side of the rink is just a few sections of bleachers, which I actually sat for the game, and one of my goals with this USHL quest is to always pay for the cheapest ticket. So I sat on that side for only $10. There's also a walkway in front of all these seats and behind the team benches. Except one of the lame rules they have at the stadium is you're not allowed to stand while the game's going on. That's kinda silly, you should definitely be allowed to stand if the game's getting exciting. Off to the far west side of the rink, they had this Budweiser lounge. There's a private little area with high top tables and chairs, and also a really nice couch right up by the ice. The far east end of the rink was probably the most interesting, because first off, it has the giant windows looking in from the restaurant, so people in the restaurant can catch a free game. But also, it's really open, which allows for a lot of standing room. But the most interesting thing about it is that the standing room at ground level is above the ice surface. As you can see here, how there's only about 8 to 10 inches of board showing up above the ground level. However, this does make these seats really well for accessibility seating or people in wheelchairs. because they can roll up right to the glass and there's no obstruction, they can look right down into the game. I also really noticed the banners in the stadium about the team's successful history in the USHL, with the East End showing conference championships and the West End showing Clark Cup championships. And now we need to carry on the tradition of getting a hot dog of every single USHL stadium and ranking it. So remember, we're ranking it out of 5 on price, presentation, bun, and meat. So starting off with price, the hot dogs at the Chicago Steel Stadium ran you $6.50, which is absolutely absurd for a hot dog at a USHL stadium. So it's gonna get a 1 out of 5 there, because I was at an MLB game the other day and hot dogs were $6. Come on Chicago, bump those prices down, that's ridiculous. So for presentation, it was wrapped up in a foil bun, which is pretty standard. However, it was nice and warm and not soggy at all and appeared pretty nice, so we're gonna give it a 4 out of 5. Alright, now we dive into the hot dog itself. How's it tasting? The bun, pretty solid, warm, moist bun. We're gonna give it 4 out of 5. And the meat, pretty solid as well, another 4 out of 5. So, despite the price, this was actually a pretty good hot dog, except I'm still not happy paying $6.50 for it, which is ironic because when you total up the score and divide by 2 for a score out of 10, it gives us 6.5 out of 10, which actually ties it on our leaderboard with the Madison Capitals hot dog. However, this hot dog was a lot better, it's only the price knocking it down, so congratulations Chicago Steel, you now have the best hot dog in the USHL. However, that's only out of the 2 stadiums I've been to. Although the Steel provided a very family-friendly atmosphere, the energy in the barn was still building up during warm-ups. As during warm-ups and throughout the entire game, they were really playing some great tunes. And I personally was super impressed by their music choices. Spot on. The large walkways going right by the ice surface let me get real nice and close to the action during warm-ups. It was kinda interesting though because each of the players' tunnels is on the opposite side of the benches, so all the players and the coaches have to go across the far side of the ice to get back to their locker rooms. Before the Steel players came out onto the ice for the game, they had a large hype video showing the Steel's history. And to be honest, this definitely wasn't my favorite hype video I've ever seen. But after that, all the fans were waving around their phone flashlights as they announced the starting lineup for the Steel.
And right away from Mississauga, Ontario, number 9, Nick Holdenhauer.
Throughout the game in intermission, they had a lot of fun gags going on to keep the crowd engaged. And their mascot, Rusty, who's apparently a canine, had a lot of fun in it too. To be honest, the whole game I thought he was a gopher, and during this video I looked it up and apparently he's some kind of dog, which is definitely news to me. And it was a fun hat night with proceeds going to charity, which is why a lot of the stadium staff were wearing different fun hats, and all the players had custom painted helmets, which made it really hard during the game to keep track of who was who. One gag that I really liked that they did was the human bowling, where contestants got slingshot down the ice into a set of bowling pins.
Swimming his way through. Let's bowl! Here goes Maggie! And she knocks down a.
And of course, like almost every single lower league hockey team, they had a chuck-a-puck. But what I found interesting is that they did chuck-a-puck after the game instead of during one of the intermissions. But to be honest, the fan engagement was kinda sparse, as they didn't have the best crowd on hand and they weren't the loudest bunch. But like I said earlier, with Chicago being such a saturated sports market, it's hard to really get the good draws there. And now for the game itself. One of the rules that I created for going to all these different USHL games is that I always wanted to cheer for the home team. However, I broke that rule on just the second trip. And that's because the Chicago Steel were facing off against the Madison Capitals, who are the closest team to me. I live in the state of Wisconsin, and to be honest, I have a pretty hard time cheering for Chicago sports teams. However, this Chicago team definitely had the last laugh at me, as they took off in a flash, just dominating the Capitals in every way all over the ice. They started tallying up the goals early, and before the game was even 8 minutes old, the Steel were up 4-0 on the Capitals. I did enjoy the seats where I sat, however it was kind of weird because you felt really far away from the ice because the seats weren't very steep. But you still had a good view of the action, and I spent one of the periods hanging out over on the east side of the rink where there's a large open area, and I really liked the view that I got from right on top of the net and being at a higher elevation than the players, looking down into the ice. Unfortunately, most of the game turned into damage control for the Capitals as they just tried to stop the bleeding, since they were getting outplayed in so many ways by the Steel. However, later on in the game, Madison did get some breaks that looked like they had a lot of potential to them, but every time they scored, the Steel would come right back with a goal. And this game ended with the final score of 7-2 for the Steel. However, that does mean that both the USHL games I've gone to so far, the home team has won. Now, can we carry that on and make that a tradition? Well, you're going to have to wait and find out, because I went to one more USHL stadium before the end of the season. So be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you can watch that upcoming episode and any other stadium reviews. Before leaving the stadium though, of course I had to snag a souvenir. So every game I go to, I like to collect a puck, so I got this Steel hockey puck, which says it's the official USHL puck. Nice, good one to add to the collection. Alright, that's all from Fox Valley Ice Arena in the Chicago Steel. I really had a good time here and is glad I made the trip down, even though Madison did get pummeled. This was another really unique small venue just like Madison, and I really enjoy those kind of unique rinks. And like I said, I visited one more USHL rink before the season ended. So stay tuned and I will see you in that next stadium review episode. Thanks, bye.